Juha the Trickster. Once upon a time, in a distant past, on a warm summer night, Juha decided to spread a rumor about owning a magical mill. He sat in the town's cafe among the townspeople and told them he possessed a mill that could grind anything and turn it into gold. The townspeople began flocking to Juha's house, eager to see the magical mill. Juha convinced them that it required some expenses to operate, so he collected a small amount of money from each of them to allow them to try it. Juha then seated each person in front of the mill, asking them to put in a small amount of flour, close their eyes, and hold his hand as he shook the mill several times. Then he would pull out pieces of brass coated with golden paint, exclaiming, "Here is your gold." While everyone was astonished by the mill's power, a clever merchant grew suspicious. That night, the merchant went to Juha and offered to buy the mill for a large sum, believing it to be a great treasure. After receiving the money, Juha left the town for a few days under the pretext of traveling, leaving the merchant to operate the mill himself. Of course, the mill produced nothing but flour, which enraged the merchant. When Juha returned, the furious merchant demanded his money back. Using another trick, Juha told the merchant that the mill required magic words to work, but he had not had the time to teach him before leaving. He then gave the merchant mysterious words such as "barbeat" and claimed they were the secret to the mill's operation. The merchant tried the words several times to no avail, but he did not immediately uncover the deception. When Juha felt that his trick was about to be exposed, he spread a new rumor, claiming he had discovered a buried treasure beneath an ancient tree in town. The townspeople eagerly gathered around the tree and began digging for days. Each time they failed to find the treasure, Juha convinced them that it was buried much deeper and required further digging. He suggested splitting the work, with half of the people digging on the left side and the other half on the right, assuring them that the treasure would be revealed in two parts. After days of fruitless digging, the people began to doubt the treasure's existence and confronted Juha, accusing him of deception. Thinking quickly, Juha told them that the treasure had been magically moved overnight. On another occasion, Juha told the townspeople that he could bring them a small sea using a special bucket that could enlarge water. He claimed they could enjoy swimming in the little lake he would create. Excited by the idea, the townspeople bought tickets from Juha to swim in this miraculous sea. On the appointed day, the people gathered in the town square to see Juha standing there with an empty bucket. He declared that the sea had been inside the bucket, but had mysteriously leaked out. While the children laughed, the adults grew furious. With anger rising, Juha fled the town again, leaving behind a note that read, "The sea awaits those who have patience. It will appear to those who believe in it." After some time, Juha returned with a new rumor, that he possessed a magical ring that granted him the ability to become invisible. He offered people the chance to see him disappear before their eyes for a small fee. The crowd gathered in the square as Juha put on the ring, closed his eyes, and announced loudly, "Now, I will vanish." He then asked the people to close their eyes as well. After a few moments, they opened their eyes to find that Juha had indeed disappeared, along with their money. The story of the magical bag. Juha came up with another trick. He announced to the people that he owned a magical bag capable of turning pebbles into delicious food. This sparked the curiosity of the townspeople, who rushed to witness the miracle. Juha demonstrated by putting some pebbles into the bag, whispering mysterious words, and skillfully pulling out some hidden food he had prepared in advance. "Look, the magical food," he shouted. Amazed, the people wanted to buy the bag. At first, Juha refused, claiming it was a family treasure. But after persistent offers, he agreed to sell it to the highest bidder. After purchasing the bag, the townspeople eagerly tried it out, only to find it produced nothing but pebbles. Furious, they searched for Juha, only to discover he had vanished from the town again. The tale of the hidden treasure. Rumors spread that Juha had found a hidden treasure trove and was holding a secret auction to sell ancient artifacts he had discovered. Only the wealthiest townspeople were allowed to participate. As anticipation built, Juha presented an ordinary stone, claiming it was sacred and could bring great fortune to its owner. A merchant paid a hefty sum to acquire the lucky stone. Next, Juha pulled out an old feather, calling it the Feather of Wisdom, stating that whoever possessed it would gain great intelligence. A wealthy elder purchased it for a high price. Soon, people started hearing more rumors about the enchanted feather, which fueled the belief in Juha's so-called discoveries. Days later, the buyers confronted Juha, complaining that their luck and wisdom had not changed. Juha claimed that the blessings required further activation through additional payments. Convinced, the people paid more money for special rituals Juha performed. Once he had gathered enough wealth, Juha announced that he had one last treasure, a golden amulet that guaranteed safety from harm. A brave knight purchased it for a fortune. To test it, he wore the amulet into a minor battle but was quickly injured, realizing the amulet was nothing more than an ornament. When he confronted Juha, the trickster simply replied, "It only protects against great dangers, not small ones." The Tale of the Lost Valley. A story spread that Juha had discovered a valley filled with lost treasures and jewels. However, it was a dangerous place that could only be entered after performing special rituals. Juha began selling special tickets granting access to the valley, making a fortune from eager buyers. He told them to prepare for the journey and set a specific departure date. On the day of the expedition, Juha made the people jump and shout strange chants, claiming these rituals would protect them from the valley's dangers. Then, he made them wait, saying that evil winds had to calm before they could proceed. The next day, he told them that the journey had become riskier and that he needed more money to buy protection for them. As the people grew impatient, Juha announced that he had learned the valley had moved due to powerful magic. He then claimed they needed a magical key to enter, which he conveniently sold them at a high price. When some townspeople finally began to suspect deception and confronted Juha, he insisted that only those who truly believe could see the valley. To regain their trust, he told elaborate tales of the valley's hidden wonders, mythical beasts, and unparalleled treasures. Once the people's enthusiasm was reignited, Juha introduced an additional level of protection for an extra fee. Eventually, the townspeople forced Juha to prove the valley's existence by leading them there himself. Realizing his time was up, Juha devised one last trick. As they approached a nearby pond, the people threatened to throw him in unless he admitted the truth. Facing their anger, Juha finally confessed, "I have given you an adventure full of laughter and excitement. That is a treasure in itself." The crowd laughed at the irony and let him go. But Juha, as always, quietly slipped away, leaving behind yet another tale for the townspeople to tell for years to come.